What's going on, guys? Bexio back, and today we got a brand new video on Plug Power yet again, seeing how they're reacting. They had a pretty big move up this last week, and going into this new week, what we might be able to expect them. But before we get into any of that, if you are not subscribed, make sure to smash that sub button because we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. But let's jump right into this Plug Power chart here. You can see this downtrend. We completely shattered it, which was a pretty heavy downtrend for a couple weeks even, where it was just downtrending here, and we actually broke above it, got basically up to this bottom red channel line, and fell back down here. But you know, a couple bad days, another little pump here, so we'll see how it actually reacts. But at least we broke the downtrend where we challenged this channel. If the market is in a healthier spot, a better place, which it could be after Amazon earnings and Snapchat guidance stuff and big tech actually doing great, except for Facebook. And Facebook tried so hard to drag the entirety of the market down with it. Right now, it looks like it might not have been able to do that. So we got Amazon doing good, Apple still kind of going sideways, but they had good earnings. But that should strengthen the market, maybe give some more excitement into these stocks like Plug, the smaller companies, the growth companies. And hopefully we see this try and get back into this channel at least, which would be a very tough channel to get out of because we had a lot of interactions here, fighting the top, getting rejected, and bouncing off of here, staying in it for such a long amount of time until we finally broke out and actually had a massive, pretty big move up there. Maybe we can get back in and see the same thing play out, but the base goal would be get back into this red channel, and it will probably be in here for a couple weeks, maybe even a couple months, depending on how the market is, if the market sees more weakness, and how these interest rates actually affect the entire market, especially stocks like Plug Power. And a quick look at Plug's just kind of short interest, because it has been going up a little bit here, and we can see right from this 11.98%, still around that 12% mark, even after this pump. So maybe if we see more moves up in price, we can see short squeezes and little moves up more. I don't think any short squeeze would be massive. Looking at this chart, 25 is a line on here for kind of support area, turned into resistance now because it's underneath. So maybe we get up to this, try and get it around here. That would fall in line with getting in this red zone, 25, obviously between 23 and 28. So the 12% short is pretty high, pretty big short. It's nothing ridiculous, but it's higher than Plug's normal, which is around, it was around 8 to 9% where Plug was. And now obviously we see it up here. So if the market is in a better spot, a lot of things hinging on the market and the sentiment of the market instead of individual things with Plug. That's just how we're in the market anywhere right now. So people kind of looking at the majority of how the market feels, the fear, not wanting to be too risky, and these interest rate hikes are the biggest question. So we could see something with the interest rates happen, because right here we have strong jobs reports, points to likely Fed rate rises in March and May. This is expected though, so as long as we don't get something crazy, because right now the market expects there to be a rate hike in March and in the May meetings, and they don't expect them to be massive moves, but there's a chance that they get a little bit higher than they think. So nothing crazy unknown going on here, but obviously March 15th to 16th is the meeting. That's when we expect them to raise these interest rates, kind of go through this stuff. There's a good chance of it happening. We see right here after Friday's report, interest rate futures markets showed investors judge a nearly 1 in 3 probability of a larger rate increase, up from around 1 in 7 on Thursday, according to CME Group. So even these bigger rate increases are getting priced in. They are going through, getting a little priced in. I didn't even know there was a futures market for interest rates. I mean, I guess we can gamble on anything in the futures market. So, but these interest rates that's already getting slightly priced in that there's a 33% chance that they're higher than expected. And that's not going to be priced in exactly that they get higher than expected, but at least the chance that they will be is priced in. And if they go as expected, that'll be better news. And the market might react pretty positively to something like that. If they get reported, or if Jerome comes out and says instead of a 0.25, he'll say 25 basis point increase. We're doing a 50 basis point increase, which is just 0.5%. Then it'll probably be rough in the market. It'll be worse than expected, even though there's a third chance that the market's expecting that. It's not the majority, and it wouldn't be fully priced in to have a more aggressive move against these interest rates. But some news for Plug Power on one of their plants they have in Texas. They're trying to have a public hearing. It just got postponed, but they have a public hearing to consider a tax abatement for one of their hydrogen fuel cell plants. Basically, what that means is they want to have better tax benefits or not pay the taxes on their plant, and to try and get it built and get it running, doing all that stuff. So this would be a $281 million plant. So you can see that $281 million in property, including all of their, like everything that goes into the plant. So this would be a good thing for Plug. Cutting down expenses and spending wherever they can save money is a good thing, because they are burning through cash right now. And we want to see them come back on that, get closer to profitability. Their revenue is going up, and we'll be able to see how well they're doing again February 24th. That is their next earnings. When they go and have their next earnings call, we'll be able to see if they increased revenue quarter over quarter. That'll be an important trend to see if they're continuing to do. And if they miss it bad, that's going to be a pretty big problem. It's not going to be great. If they miss it by a little bit, we'll see how they actually missed it. They'll explain why. And if they do better, then that'll continue the trend. And that'll be a good thing to show that they're actually moving towards this profitability standpoint and being able to make money from Plug. That's what everyone's waiting for. Basically, they got 2 years to do it. 2024, they're supposed to be profitable and making money, and they have maybe even making money by next year or late this year. If they do that, would be absolutely amazing news and would be great for Plug. But going back to the interest rate problems that the entire market's seeing, Plug is a strong company for this happening because of the cash on hand that they have right here. This is the amount of money and assets they have. But looking right here at the cash and cash equivalents, they have $3.3 billion of cash on hand, which is good. And we could look at obviously their total assets, $4.7 billion, but they can't really use all of this stuff to sustain the business, to go on and grow it to profitability. So this $3.3 billion number is important right now because that can sustain them very easily into 2024 to get them profitable, to get them making money, and the interest rates shouldn't have such a bad effect on them. So they're not dependent on debt and dependent on these interest rates to be able to run their business. They do have the cash on hand. They are making money right now. They're not profitable, but their revenue is growing. So they're in an interesting spot, but they do have this cash on hand that is going to help them get through interest rate hikes. So as long as they continue to have this, they can deploy it to buy companies or continue building out infrastructure. But as long as they have enough to get them to 2024 to their projected profitability, they should be all right. So all in all, for Plug Power, we saw a strong bounce last week and the market kind of getting more strength to it. So we will see what actually ends up happening. I think if the market's stronger, we see Plug get into that red channel, maybe go into that $25 range and see what we interact with there. But the news long term, still great. They still have the cash on hand to be able to make it to profitability. So these interest rates shouldn't matter, and interest rates and the Fed is what's driving a ton of the market right now. As always, that's gonna do it for this video. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. See you guys in my next video.